Hi everyone. Hope everyone can hear me. Hi. So welcome to Digital Vidya's webinar. My name is Divya Mahajan and I'll be hosting the webinar today. So for the ones who are joining us for the first time, I'll just explain how the tool works. We have the chat option or the question panel on the right hand side. And good afternoon everyone. Yes. We have the question panel on the right hand side. You can just type in your questions over here and we'll be answering the questions at the end of the session. So we'll give around 30 to 45 minutes to the presentation, and post that the platform will be open for Q&As. So you can just type in the questions. We'll answering all of them by the end of the session. Great. And for today, we have Mr. Rajat Garg. He is the founder of Simply.com. He'll be sharing his insightful views and bring a light upon how to develop an app and his journey of a mobile app over a period of 30 days. So welcome Rajat, and you can just take the stage forward.
Thank you, Vidya. Good afternoon, guys. This is Rajat here. I hope this will be a useful session for you. So basically, the reason why I picked this particular topic because a lot has been said about you know building a mobile app and 10 ways to get downloads and all that, but nobody really focuses on the first 30 days. And it's really crucial to get those first 30 days right, because it kind of sets the overall theme of how your app will be perceived in the Google's ecosystem, Google Play ecosystem, and how many downloads you're going to get per day organically. So let me start by giving you a little bit of my background and then I'll jump right in. So I'm a Stanford alumni, ex-Amazon. I earlier ran Social Apps HQ. Between Social Apps HQ and Simply.com, I built a few mobile apps. Basically, we're testing around to see what works and whether there's a connect for Social Apps HQ or not. In the process, we got our apps downloaded by 6.5 million users. Apps were mobile number locator, Navigale, some religion apps, some music and video apps, etc. So there was we did quite a bit of testing around mobile, and hopefully those testings, those learnings will be useful to you as I share with you today. So mobile ecosystem is not equal to web ecosystem. Unfortunately, seems like in the transition, the not sign has been moved. It's not equal to web ecosystem. Web ecosystem, we all talk about iteration, we talk about building something light and getting it out there and then keep reiterating and make the experience better. But in case of mobile, it pays to make sure you have your ducks in a row. Your app is, is up to a certain level before you push it out. And you have to realize that Google controls mobile ecosystem fairly strongly. So it kind of punishes bad experiences, and it becomes harder and harder to climb the ladder if you get enough number of negative ratings. In India, Android is used by pretty much every Tom, Dick and Harry. So in this, if you have to choose Android versus any other ecosystem. So in case of mobile, as I said, think about building a high quality app to start with. It's okay to delay your app launch by another month if you think you can get few more things thought through. The other thing is the system, the devices are very fragmented. So you will have a lot of bugs the moment you put it out in wild and people will start using it, and certain because of poor internet connection or because of different devices and their limitation, you will see a lot of weird error messages popping out in your app. So you'll still have to fix them. So make sure you are ready for all that. So one of the key part that I have seen across various apps is that there is certain amount of visibility guaranteed or given by Google. And if the app is interacted with by user, it's downloaded, it's people are interacting, people are rating it, then future visibility is calculated based on the previous interaction. So an interaction is a mix of, as I said, frequency interaction and installer rating. So, why first 30 days matter? As I, earlier at the start I was saying, if in our case, we had one app and then it got blocked, so we had to relaunch it. So the app climbed to number 2 spot in top new releases chart, and we were getting around 45,000 downloads a day. And after the 31st 30 days were over, we were still getting 8 to 9,000 downloads a day for several months. And it was an app in communication category. And when WhatsApp was acquired a year and a half back, uh, that day we received like 85,000 downloads in a single day. And it's all organic. We didn't pay for anything. So we were pretty excited. So when Google decided that, hey, we are going to change the terms of service, and this is certainly not agreeable, and they blocked it. So we relaunched, modified it, and relaunched that. But this time we didn't really focus that much. We thought, hey, it's going to just happen on its own. And it really didn't. Same app, same logo, same data, description, everything. But we were not really updating, we were not really doing a quite number of things that we were doing in the first app. And the number of downloads were like 5 to 6,000. And after 30 days had passed, it received only 1,000 downloads a day. And then we built several other apps in religion app and stuff. And if there were apps that say got 50 downloads per day in first 30 days, then they were down to like 2 or 5 downloads a day. So whatever you have to do in first 30 days to make sure you are able to climb the Google for various categories, and that will help you drive a lot more sustainable organic download rate compared to if you don't do it in first 30 days. What I have seen being the most common problem is people launch it, then when nothing happens in first 30, 45, 30 days, 45 days, 60 days, they say, okay, fine, now let's figure out what all we can do in marketing because downloads are not coming. So whatever you have to do it on the first day. So a few things that a lot of people who are doing ASO will advocate, and that we realize also. There is a company called Fixo. It says that 75% of downloads are driven by user search. And user search is either utility driven or brand driven. By utility, I am saying online shopping, um, Hindi news, English news, Gayatri mantra, uh, you name it, just things that people, 2 or 3 keywords that people will think about when they want to do something like metro map, metro timing, train timing, um, IRCTC. So those are usually utility-driven keywords, except the last one, which is IRCTC, which is more of a brand keyword. So in brand, it will be maybe Flipkart, maybe OLX, maybe MobiQuick, maybe Barista, Make My Trip. So these are much more brand driven that people actually already know about, and then they go and search for. So for most of the starting companies, they cannot really rely on brand-driven search. They're usually PVC campaigns that will drive that kind of activity. So you can't rely on that for if you are mostly startups and are part of those. So usually you have to focus on the utility-driven keywords. So the next major thing that I've noticed is people will build their app and the title of the app is their company name. And then this will be their registered LLC or private software private limited name. Absolutely the wrong thing to do. So you need to have your app title as the keyword that you're targeting, the main keyword, like online shopping India, online railway tickets. This is antivirus screenshot, software screenshot, this mobile security and antivirus. This is what we are targeting. So that's what is the keyword that you have to put in your app title. And the company name can go in the brand as subtitle. So brand is secondary unless you are literally like world's number one Pepsi and Coke type of brand. And the keyword should always be primary. Also, if you uh, keep 4 or 5 or 6 letter keywords, Google tend to view it as spam. So, and on top of it, if you're going to change that keyword very often, chances are somebody will ding you for that and they'll say you are doing over optimization for SEO and you're going to ban your app. So keep it generally under 3 words and do not change them very often. Think through before you set it up on day one. On the description side, write a long, catchy description with relevant keywords baked in. Realize that people are not going to go down in most cases to see the reviews, exact reviews. So sometimes, if you put good reviews that you have in the description itself, it will also help you in getting people who are coming to your site, to your Google App page, convert better. So make sure that your description is catchy. It has all the relevant keywords baked in. Do not optimize for competitors' competitors' brand names, because that is also not viewed very favorably by Google. Logo, so as we discussed earlier, in most cases people will search for a certain keyword and then they see the search results and then they're going to click through it. So logo plays a major role in that. First, use strong colors. If you look at top 10 apps in most of the competitive categories, you realize the logos are well made, they are strong colors, etc. It helps by adding your company name or main keyword in the logo so that user can relate to it much easily. So the text, if you noticed below the logo, is actually not very readable compared to the logo itself. So the two on the left are actually pretty popular apps for mobile antivirus security. And so some people will know of it and they will just click it and download it. But these are not very well-known brands. This I was not aware of it. I know of them then, but not of these guys. But ultimately at the end of the day, I'm looking for mobile security, right? So of all these apps, only this is the one that catches my attention. So this is the one that I'm going to click at, and most people will click. So we tried that in our apps, and we were able to see around 5 to 10% uplift in user visiting your app from search page. So not a completely direct correlation, but at least the traffic to search page, traffic to our app page increased. And you'll ask how you measured your traffic to app page, and this is what we did. So on the second point, if you add a video from YouTube, YouTube has an analytics page of people who have viewed the YouTube video. So you can use that to actually get a rough idea of how many people are coming to your app page. Keep in mind that not everybody clicks and starts the video. So it's not 100% to 100%, but it will give you a good ratio. The other thing that really helps convert people when they land on your app page is screenshots. So beautiful and clear screenshots. Usually what has been done by few companies, few good companies, is that they have the app screenshot below and their app screenshot below and the functionality mentioned above, and they'll have a series of 3 or 4 such screenshots that will basically explain the app very, very clearly. And it has a clear impact on conversion rate. So it was hard for us to measure it, but we saw, apps downloads increasing by making this experience far better. If everything is equal, freshly updated app will usually rank a lot better compared to the one that is not updated for, say, past few months or years. So, and so basically, you have to update your app. I do not say that update it unnecessarily, but you have to make sure that you are updating the app on a consistent basis. And it's hard to quantify this, but we have seen anecdotally by looking at around 100 to 100 apps as to how the rankings change when an app is constantly getting updated every week. And I'll talk to more about it, on the first 30 days as well, because the thing that I mentioned about launching the first app and getting to second rank in top new apps, and launching the same app again and getting to nowhere in top new apps, and the difference in the downloads was very, very stark. One of the key things we did was we released several updates in the first 30 days. I think we did around 7, 8 updates, 6 updates, 7 updates during those particular 30 days. In the second app, since we had done almost all the updates already, we didn't really bother that much. And I think that seemed to be the key to get the rankings, get higher up the rankings. So it's a known fact between ASOs that if you update the app and it is getting downloaded, it's an indicator to Google that this app is useful, and it will be one of the contributing factors of your ranking. But it's of paramount importance to do it in the first 60 days. So just make sure you keep your web cycle short and update the apps to resolve bugs. So topping new releases chart, one of the things is people ask as to why does it matter. So I can tell you that we ranked second for 3 days and we averaged 45,000 downloads a day. Once you receive 500 to 700 downloads per day in the first 3 to 5 days, it will start to show up in top news, the top new free list. Uh, so that gives you a benchmark on where and when to start. And third, if you have advertising budget, instead of waiting for to see how it's going to pan out, I'll advise to just spend the money at, on the front end versus back end. And also, if you want to know how to budget, uh, usually the download cost now ranges from 50 rupees to 65, 70 rupees depending on the traffic. And don't go for the incentivized ads. They are really bad and they actually harm your app rankings. Just go for the non-incentivized banner ads, and that will drive your downloads. You can speak to several of these App Store reviewers, WordPress reviewers, etc. They can drive some downloads, but we didn't see much activity from those guys. Maybe in certain markets like in US, they have an effect, but in India, there was not much of an effect. Um, that being said, if you're trying to get to a reasonable number of dollars, have few lakhs ready uh, available in the first month itself. Overall, your organic downloads will help you lower your app install cost. So over time, also you will see, the blended cost will be far lower if you focus it on first 30 days versus later on. And of course, as I said, please updates often, but not unnecessarily. I think that will be all. I know we have been fairly quick, but for first 30 days, if you can get the logo, the keywords, the description right, and focus your ad spend on first 30 days, that will help you have a much higher download rate throughout the life of an app compared to what it will be otherwise. So I'm open for questions.
Yeah. So can we start with the question? Yes. So there was first question. Hey Rajat, are you there now?
Yeah, yeah.
So the first question was from Ambika. She wants to understand what does it imply when you say penalty for changing app title often? What's the penalty when they change app titles?
So, in the initial days, we built an app called Navigate, and we changed it to meet singles in nearby, then hot dating in Delhi, so on and so forth. So after four or five changes, fourth change or fifth change, we got a message from Google saying your app is banned because you are changing it too often. So, usually there is a warning, and then there is a ban if you keep doing it. But in our case, we didn't even see a warning; we just got a ban. So it can be anything. It's ultimately it's Google's playfield. So you have to be careful about it.
Okay, great. And this was another question from Ambika. When you say development cycle should be short, does it mean that it should focus on go to market, be quick, and look for improvisation along the way as issues come up? So, should we improve the product after launching it to the market or before testing it?
So I'll say go-to market should be a little slow. You should rather build the product, high quality product first. You will still see a lot of bugs because of device fragmentation. So when those bugs are coming in, you have to be at it to resolve them quickly. So your hotfixes need to move out far more quickly. So the typical waterfall model to develop any website doesn't really work well for mobile.
So going to the next question, it's from Jackie. It's how backlinking plays an important role in app organic ranking and how we can proceed with that.
So that's a really debatable topic. So let me put it this way. Um, Google personalizes search results for various users. If your app is backlinked from multiple sources, then Google treats that Google Play page as one of the contributing factors for the search results. So, when someone is searching for, say, Hindi news, and you're searching for Hindi news from the Android phone or from an account that has a lot of that visits Android very often, chances are it will be one of the links that they will show in the top 10 results. So that can drive um, more downloads. But does it really change the ranking within the App Center? I'm not so sure because we had few apps that we really, went to town with in terms of getting backlinks and getting the press coverage and all that stuff. But it didn't really help with ranking
Okay,
within the app ecosystem.
great. So going forward, it's Vivan. He's asking, are there any specific resources, yeah, tools or checklists that you can point out that you have referred to often?
So we used App Annie quite a bit to see our ranking as to how we are looking at. But ultimately, most of these tools, even there are even some app ASO tools, etc., etc. But most of these tools are fairly inaccurate in terms of in terms of predicting success as well as underlying data. So, they say that this keyword is more competitive in mobile app store. They're actually using the data that is available from Google Keyword Research on web. So it's just you can use, there are a lot of tools out there. You can use any one of them. App Any is the one that we use, but it's just that most of the tools do not have a good quality data underneath it.
Um, so going forward, next is Manil. Sure, Manil, you will get the copy of the presentation as well. You will get a recording of the session as well. So don't worry. And next is Dave. So Dave is asking, recently there has been a lot of buzz about going app only. Do you think Indian market is mature enough for this, or would be safer to have a website and a mobile app?
Um, I think for a fairly long time, and even in US or other developed markets, uh, you have to have multiple access points to your product. And mobile is one of the access points for this. Tomorrow it may be Apple Watch or something else. You cannot really turn off one from one and turn on another. I think, Mintra being the specific case here, uh, they, I personally feel they kind of shut it down because it was consuming a lot of resources and they were acquired by Flipkart. So they probably wanted to reuse those resources somewhere else, and they kind of laid out um, as a marketing tactic that they are the first company to go app only. So it was more of a marketing gimmick than actually having to do with where the entire transaction flow is happening.
And Jagjoti wants to know the reason for your second release failure. She maybe wants if you can share the details, that will help.
So I think the few reasons were like we didn't really did a lot of. We didn't really do any updates. We just let it be. We didn't really talk to people about our app so that we can get some downloads from there. There, uh, we just didn't do enough uh, activity around the app so that people feel excited about it, I guess. But if you look at uh, just core mobile Google Play Store, um, the app was there. It was better than the previous one because it was more stable. The only thing that we didn't do is any update at all, and we didn't do any kind of marketing activity around it. So there may be some type of marketing activity, and of course Google didn't really see any update happening, so they thought that team has kind of gone to sleep after releasing it.
Like, um, and going forward, next is Vineet. So Vineet wants to ask, what are the inorganic resources to increase the development for an app, and what that result will that result in good ranking for the app, or just that organic downloads will contribute to it?
Inorganic in terms of the base paid, they are paid sources. So you have a lot of ad networks. Google being the one, Facebook being the second one, and you can utilize any of those ad networks to drive app downloads. Um, and Facebook is still cost still competitive compared to Google ad network. There are a lot of other ad networks also. So you have to last time I counted there were like 200 odd mobile only ad networks. So you can do a little bit of research or just do a Google search to find those ad networks. You can negotiate prices and take it from there. It will help you definitely. You just have to figure out the lifetime value of the customer and how much are you willing to pay to acquire that particular customer through mobile.
Hope that helps me. So Ketan is asking if you can help him with some company for development purpose of an app. He doesn't know how to develop an app, so he's referring. You can if you can refer someone.
So I'll share a couple of links of companies that I know after this thing is over. Um, I need to make sure that those guys are up to doing this right now because they were doing it earlier and they were pretty good at it. Let me just confirm and I'll share.
Sure, we can drop you an email Ketan with this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So next is Pankaj's question. It was observed after launching our app that we had somewhere around 800 downloads in a day, but our position on top new free Android app was 50s in 15s. So,
Yes.
what I don't know what is
Yeah. So that's kind of expected. So once you receive around 500, 700 downloads, you will start to show up in the top new apps. But the top, 8, 10 apps are getting north of 10, 15,000 downloads. So you can just understand that at 800 downloads a day, you will be showing up in it, but you will not be the top ones.
Going forward, Namrata has a question that development cycle in relation to what, since you are only making a customized app. Mm,
So development cycle, there is just a lot of things. When you think about it from a product perspective, you realize features that you must have because user is asking for them. They will email you saying that this is not possible, this is not done right, etc., etc. Uh, Also, if the other things are like, say, internet connection goes down on a user, and your app doesn't take care of inter-interaction failure within a transaction. So if so what happens to a user? Does it, how will you message it to the user that the internet connection is going down? So you need to retry it, or just wait and let us check and then recover the transaction in that state. But what will you do? And if that is not baked out in your first release, you will get complaints, you will get bad ratings because of that, and you will have to work on that. So there are a lot of bug fixes, and there will be new features that you will do. Any app is a complete website in itself, so you have to devote quite a bit of time on the app to make it successful.
Going forward, Tanvi's questions. How does App Store optimization work?
It's a function of basically, ultimately you have a keyword in your title, and when a user searches for it and it finds it in your title or product description, it basically says these 10 apps are relevant or 50 apps are relevant to this particular user's query. Now it's going to rank them based on installs, uh, user ratings, uh, user interaction, that is uninstall and how many times it was opened, etc., etc. And that's basically, and what you need to do is to make sure you optimize for them for these particular metrics so that you can climb the ladder of the ranking. So that's basically ASO for you. So keywords, the first thing you have to do is keyword and description, title and description.
Keyword is the key. So going forward, Manil has a question that what are the typical costs involved in development of a mobile app? Cost for yeah.
So it ranges from 50,000 for a very small app. Uh, I know a company that did some app for somebody to 10 to 20 lakhs in a year. A good app, if you're looking at a transaction type app like an e-commerce app, travel like a make my trip kind of an app, so looking at cost from 8 to 20, 30 lakhs easily. If you're looking at much more of a stale content feeder type app like a newsreader with no personalization, etc., then probably in the low lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakh range.
Next is Bhuvan's question. He's asking, can you speak about production freeze? You suggest launch of full product, but do we need to worry about alpha beta version release as well? Also, should release be 100% right, or we can customize it later on?
So, you will never get it 100% right. So that's a given in the software world, unless you are trying to launch a rocket ship with people on board, you don't really have to also. So I'm not talking about getting 100% right. I'm talking about uh, making sure all the key things are there. So let us say you're building an e-commerce app, right? And you say that my orders can be, a page can be done later on. Let's just build a search, product detail, and transaction page. And my orders, my wish list, and few other things that can be done there. Unless people are really crazy about your app, they will, they may place an order, they will not find how they can track their order, and they will start to complain about it. And when they will complain, the first thing they will do is go to your Google ratings and complain and give you 1 star. The second thing they will do is uninstall. Both the interactions will give them an idea that give Google an idea that this app is doing something wrong, and so they'll try to reduce your ranking so that it's not installed enough. So you have to make sure that you're not cutting off on those features that are essential from mobile user perspective. On a website, you'll probably spend 2 more minutes to try and contact us, write an email there. But on a mobile, the users are generally impatient, so they will probably not do that, and they will just go there, write a bad rating for you. So keep that in mind uh, when you are developing. You should go to alpha and beta, test it, because testing will help you resolve the bugs related to at least the common devices. But when you put it out in live, it will have bugs and
Hi, is everything fine? Can you hear me?
hi.
No.
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Great.
Hello?
Yep. I guess there were
Yeah.
some technical issues.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So going forward, we have another Jackys question. How much video demo at App Center level help customer understand the application? Does analysis support video leads to higher download?
So I did not see a correlation uh, in having a video leading to an increased download. So I think one of the reasons is that most people are accessing App Store on mobile, so they are not really only a fraction of them actually start the video. So videos are not really that effective in India compared to pictures. Um, so that's why I had mentioned that videos are probably not the best way to go. Videos, we didn't find a correlation between videos and increase in number.
Going forward, we have Aditya. He's asking an app for e-retail business should be responsive. That is ordering option of available. Or can it just have a list of items or just contact details like phone number, etc. No order option facility. Will the work later work at all? I think it's just regarding whether they can have the contact details available and nothing else.
I think it kind of defeats the purpose of having a mobile app because I don't think that the reason why an app is downloaded is to just get a phone number of someone. It's usually to place do the entire transaction very easily.
So, Tanmay is asking how are apps ranked?
So you should look at the entire thing that I have said. As I also said earlier, it's basically a function of so keyword, entitle, description, then user interaction with the app. Those are the three factors. that contribute to ranking.
Sandeep is asking what are the factors that should be there to be featured in the trending section.
In the trending section,
Trending section, section.
what are the? Can you repeat the question?
Sure. What are the factors that should be there in an app so that it should be featured in the trending section?
Very hard to say. Very hard to say. So, in the trending section, basically the apps that show up are the ones that have very high downloads compared to the previous unit time. And we were able to see our app in trending section when WhatsApp was acquired, or for the few days when we were ranked second. But it's not very simple because your app has to have a certain baseline of downloads happening anyway, and then it has to increase considerably to show up there. Um, you can't really do much uh, about it within the app besides building a good app, because a lot of the viral type things like user to user SMS messages or Facebook invites or G plus messages have all kind of been tamed down by Google over the past couple of years. So you can't really do much of that. The only thing you can do is optimize your app, build a good quality app, and then have budget to advertise on, uh, you know, advertise either on Google Ads or through some BTL activities, offline activities that will drive that activity, drive that download.
So going forward, next question is from Namrata. Can we segment our apps according to location as well?
Yes, you can. So it makes sense to build micro apps. Just realize that uh, if you overdo it, Google may ding you, so you don't want to overdo it.
So, and going forward, it's Jagjyoti. Do the size of an app's download affects the number of downloads?
Yes, it does. So if you people in India usually have a slower internet connection from the type. Plus, a lot of the devices do not have that much capacity. Uh, so usually they have 50 MB or 100 MB capacity for apps. So in those cases, if you have a large sized app, uh, like 10 MB or 15 MB, it will definitely impact your download rate. So keep it under a couple of MBs in most cases.
Thanks. Next question is from Pankaj. While launching a new app, we were looking to select category for some same and found that the apps like Facebook, Flipkart were placed in multiple categories. How this can be done?
So certain apps have a preferential treatment by Google that you can't really help. For now, to start with, we have to place your app only in one category. So just go for 99% of the apps anyway. So just uh, find out the best category which will make sense to your users as well.
Next question is from Aditya. He's asking an app for e-retail business should be responsive. Responsive. I think we have covered this question. Oh, sorry, we have covered this question. Next is from Sandeep. How to go about developing a mobile app for a startup like readily.com? Any resources that you can share? And when is the right time to come up with an app?
So right time is now, and resources is find the best developer you can, that will come and work for you, hire them. So, because you know, 50% of the traffic that we see on our e-commerce site is from mobile, and you know, we have been building an app for last month and a half, and hopefully it will be launched soon. And so, if you want to cater to that 50% in a good way, we need to have an app, mobile app there to handle it. Because the conversion rates on a responsive mobile website uh, that we have currently is like 1/3 of the desktop speed, desktop conversion rate. So uh, you can literally jump our revenue 3 times or 50% of our traffic by having a good mobile.
Next is from Namrata. Is there any difference in algorithm for Google Play SEO and iOS?
Mm, yes, but they are minor. So there is something called promotional message, I think, in iOS. I haven't checked iOS for some time now, but uh, I believe that is used a little bit more for ranking compared to Google. So there are few things that are different, but mostly it's around the keyword play in many ways.
So before going forward, we have one question. It's a poll. So I'm just launching the poll. It's regarding if you want to know more about the courses which we offer at Digital Vidya. It has both email in terms of digital marketing as well as mobile marketing. So if you are looking for it, you can just select yes. If you want to do it later on, you can select no. Or if you are already a participant of ours, you can just say already we are learning with digital Vidya. So we still have some more questions from Namrata we are done. Pankaj, Jackie, Vivan, and Prashant. Some more. So I'll give 5 more seconds to it.
Uh,
Yeah. So we are just closing the poll and going forward, we have Jackys question. So can you please let us know what are the analytics tools used for monitoring the install and unusability behavior with many publishers?
so we used Google Analytics, uh, and it works well now. Um, we- there are several others, but Google Analytics is pretty reliable.
Google Analytics. So and one more question is from Pankaj. It's the same question. We use Google Analytics, Pankaj. Pankaj, we recommend Pankaj. So next is from Prashant. For a new startup, would you suggest building app in-house or outsourcing it to an expert company? And how much time does it take to develop an app?
Depends anything from a day to several months. Um, if it's a simple content app, then nothing actually. But if you have interaction, you have to build the APIs for backend interaction, and if there are transactions involved, then you have to make sure it's secure. So then it takes a little bit of time. I will. I think the question I can't really answer whether it should be done in-house or outsourced. Because you have to first know whether the people, whether the particular product that you're building has, uh, whether your team is technology focused, whether in your business tech is your strong tech is what differentiates you, or whether it's tech is just an enabler and there's some other unique things about your business. So if tech is just an enabler, outsource it, get it done quickly. But if tech is one of the key things that differentiates you from your competition, I'll advise you to build it internally.
Great. So Aditya has a question which I think many of them will be want to ask. So how much does an app like Flipkart or Amazon will cost them?
So see, building an app like Flipkart may cost you like four, five developers working for 2, 3 months, and that will get you the initial releases out. So, multiply 4, 5 developers by 2, 3 months, their salary. Um, and but the value is with the optimizations that have been done on the app. So, for example, what should be loaded when an app is on a slower connection, or how should we personalize the user experience when Vidya loads the app, or you know X user downloads that particular app, because every user is different and every user is unique. And with the app, you can actually customize that entire thing. So how will you differentiate? How will you make sure that experience is different? So I think if, that takes a lot more time and investment, and of course the continuous upgrade that you have to do to make sure it works across devices. It's faster and faster. Uh, and you're able to use messaging feature of Android to actually send messages to user timely and look at the patterns as to when people are responding most to your messages, when the transactions are happening, make sure you're timing those messages and transactions properly, etc., etc. So once you figure those pieces out, um, you'll end up looking at a pretty decent investment in a mobile app, more so than the website address.
So Shafali is asking, when should you ask an investor for funding? It should be at a concept stage or alpha stage or a post-alpha stage.
I'm still figuring it out. How do I know? I'm still figuring it out. We have bootstrapped our business so far, um, and I don't know the right answer to it. It's really there are just so many different things that contribute to it. It's very hard to answer.
We can skip it. The next is from Jagjoti. He's asking, will Google help me animate my icon? Animate icon can get significant attractions since animated icons.
No, it will not. It will not.
So it won't help for Jagjoti. The next is from Vineet. He's asking, should we shut down our mobile optimized site to increase the mobile downloads? Like,
Yeah, I think if it doesn't, if it can coexist, then let it be, because sometimes people will not download the app, and if they are not ready to download the app, then you kind of have to give them another option. Uh, but at at some stage, you can choose to ask people to download the app versus using the mobile site.
so Harshit is asking, is Google charging money from Facebook to show and to be download FB in its app?
I don't understand the question.
Yeah, we can skip it.
Google is charging the developer, Facebook is charging the developer to drive downloads. I don't think Google is charging Facebook. That's not what's up.
Next is by Manil. He's asking broadly what are the revenue streams for an app? Subscription, sales, advertising, etc.
Uh, Advertising, in-game rewards, points. You can ask for upfront paid fee. Uh, that's pretty much about it.
So going forward, I guess this is the last question. It's by Pankaj. We are thinking to track installs on platform like Mat, Apps, Flyer, Localities. Which will you refer?
So those are good tools, and they had a lot of value because Google didn't used to, provide those, didn't used to provide that support. But now you can provide custom URLs to users and track the installs in Google Analytics itself. So you don't need MAT unless you are going to spend a lot of money with tons and tons of advertising channels and you want to just uh, have a fairly granulated idea of what way and where download is coming from. Then you can use these advanced tools, otherwise a GA will be alright.
Great. So we have two more questions. One is from Prashant. He's asking, does influencers play a good role in app marketing?
Mm, if you think about it, right, who are the influencers that will tell you to go and download an app and that you will actually, let's say you are reading a blog and you will actually go and uh, go to your mobile app and then download the app because you read the download on read the blog on a desktop site or somewhere else. It's not, uh, in the mobile app case, it's not really happening. In WordPress and other scenarios, there were people who could write downloads of your plugins, etc. But same doesn't hold true for mobile app on a mass scale. On a smaller scale, yes, that's possible, but on a mass scale, there is nothing there to suggest that. You can, however, get a lot of G plus on it, and that there is anecdotal reference where you see your rankings improve if there are a lot of G plus. A lot of a friend in your network has G plus.
Yes. And the last question is from Manil. He's asking, how does the payment to an app developer is structured? It should be a one-time payment or same payment every year?
App developer, I think it should be paid one time, and if you think your app is very dynamic, then there has to be a monthly expense associated with it. If it's fairly static app, then it's one time.
Okay. And we are done with all the questions. I'll just give 5 more seconds if anyone has a question or would like to ask something or contribute something. You can just type in the chat box. Otherwise, we are ready to close the session. Is there any more question which you want to ask? Yes. Great. Thanks, Amrita. Thanks, Prashant. Thanks, Amrita. Yes. So we are done with the session. Thanks, Rajat, for contributing to the session. It was a very informative session. I hope everyone enjoyed it. Thank you so much, Rajat. So would you like to
Thank you.
contribute something? Yeah. We are done with it. Thanks, Aditya. Sure. Yeah. So we are ready to wind up the session. So we'll connect with you in another webinar. Thank you so
All right.
much.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Bye bye.